from the shadows of the radio towers. This is the GayPHX Podcast, your community radio on demand.
It's gonna be a good day, and everything is going to go my way. It's gonna be a good day. The sun is shining bright and it's here to stay.
Alrighty, Phoenix, it's Billy. And before we get into this week's conversation, can we just take a second and talk about this past weekend? Because, wow, The Devil Wears Prada 2 screening. Fabulous movie, completely sold out, packed house, electric energy, and honestly, we're still kind of riding the high from that. And then Stacey's meet and greet for the pup title contest. So much love in the room and in the parking lot, the kind you feel the second you walk in. And of course, then the pup title contest itself. That one hits really different. We got to be there. And we laser engraved tags on the spot. And I'm telling you, watching someone light up when they saw their name come to life on that tag, that smile, that moment, that was everything. It's not just merch, it's identity, it's pride. It's someone seeing themselves reflected back and going, hey, that's me. And those moments stacked all day long. So first, let's give flowers where they're due. Congratulations to your new title holders, 2026 AZ Puppy, Good Boy Rex, and the freshly minted AZ 2026 trainer, Miss Unique. You could feel it in the room, that energy, that excitement, the next chapter starting right in front of us. And I promise we're going to have them on the podcast soon because we've already done interviews. And then there was Grit Saturday night. You already know, connection, chemistry, and a little chaos in the fun way. The whole weekend, it wasn't just events, that was community showing up for each other. And that right there is why this conversation really matters. Because this week, we're not just hearing from someone with opinions, you're hearing from someone who wants to shape what Phoenix actually looks like for all of us. Michael Mazzocco. And if you've ever heard him speak, then you already know. He doesn't skim the surface, he doesn't play safe, he goes there. But this time it's different because now he's stepping into the seat, running for Phoenix City Council District 4. 25 years of advocacy. Building spaces, showing up when it wasn't easy and when it wasn't popular. And this conversation, it won't stay surface level. We talk about what real belonging actually looks like. Not the kind you post about, not the kind you check a box for, the kind you build, the kind you fight for, the kind that actually changes people's lives. And yeah, we get into government, what works and what doesn't, and why everything happening nationally doesn't mean much if we're not taking care of our own backyard right here in Phoenix. This one matters. So don't go anywhere. But first, let's check in with the man, the myth, the Desert Den Daddy himself, Brian. What's hot this week?
You're listening to GayPHX, where community comes first.
Hey, Phoenix, go ahead and loosen that collar, adjust that harness, or at the very least, check your group chat, because I guarantee someone already dropped. So what are we doing this week? And if your answer is still, I don't know yet, ooh, baby, not with this lineup, because this week we've got lightsabers being ignited, balls being called, yes, I said that, and brunch that comes in heels, flips the tables, and steals your man before the second mimosa. This is Brian's Hot 3, your Desert Den Daddy certified glitter-soaked, slightly inappropriate guide to where you need to be. And trust me, this is not the week to behave. Let's go. Hot pick number 1, Star Wars Day, Charlie is Phoenix, May 4th at 7 p.m. Alright, grab your saber, and yes, we mean that however you want to mean it. Charlie's is turning May the 4th into a full-blown galactic fantasy. We're talking themed drinks, music that hits harder than a Death Star blast, and cosplay that's about to get creatively revealing. Jedi, Sith, Power Bottom Stormtrooper? There's room for all of it, and let's be honest, nothing says connection like locking eyes across the bar while someone in a robe whispers, use the Force. Just remember, some sabers glow and some sabers grow. Alright now. Hot pick number 2 is the Bunkhouse Bingo at Paddle's Bunkhouse Saloon, Wednesday, May 6th at 7 p.m. It's the first Wednesday of the month, which means it's time to grab your card and see if you can handle the balls. Hosted by Bill Lobb, Bunkhouse Bingo is where luck meets lust for competition. You've got drinks, prizes flowing, and a room full of people who are just this close to shouting bingo like it's a declaration of dominance. There's tension, there's side-eyed, and there's that one person who gets way too into it. And honestly, we love that energy. Come for the games, stay for the chaos, and leave with either a prize or a story that starts with, so I met this guy at bingo. And you know how that story goes. Hot pick number 3, Flamboyant's Drag Brunch at Royal Kitchen and Cocktails. Tuesday, May 10th. Doors open at 10 a.m. and show starts at 11. Now let's talk about brunch that does not believe in being subtle. Hosted by the incomparable Barbara Seville, Flamboyance is serving you heels, humor, and high kicks before noon. This is not your quiet eggs and toast situation. This is wigs flying, lip syncing, and a room full of people screaming like it's a pop concert with pancakes. You've got a full brunch menu, drink specials that sneak up on you, and commentary that might just read you harder than your ex ever did. 18 plus, please, and absolutely not responsible for what happens after your third mimosa. Stay hydrated, stay fabulous, and maybe stretch first. Phoenix, this is one of those weeks where you can feel it. The tension, the laughter, the flirtation hanging out just a little heavier in the air. This is your moment to step out, show off, and maybe, just maybe, let someone else take control of your evening plans. So don't sit this one out, don't overthink it, and for the love of glitter, please bring your best look and your worst intention. I'm your Desert Den Daddy Brian, reminding you that this week isn't about playing it safe, it's about showing up, showing out, and seeing just how much fun you can actually handle. Until next time, I'm Brian, your Desert Den Daddy, and that's what's hot.
Want all the details? Head over to GayPHX.com, your one-stop shop for queer events, promos, and everything happening in the Valley.
This is what community sounds like.
This is Amanda Renfrew, enrolled agent with The Tax Person with your tax year countdown. Repairs lower your taxes now, while improvements are depreciated over time for rentals. Sorting receipts early helps you categorize correctly and avoid audit issues later. Get support with the free 15-minute consult at thetaxperson.com or look for me as The Tax Person on socials.
More stories, more voices, more pride. You're tuned in to the GayPHX Podcast.
Today on GayPHX, when you vote, it's not just for a name. You're choosing who actually shows up for your neighborhood, your safety, and your future. Local elections shape our day-to-day life more than most people realize, and District 4 is at a turning point. So today, you're hearing directly from someone stepping up to lead, sharing their experience, their priorities, and what they believe Phoenix needs next. Please welcome to the rainbow-tinted microphone, Michael Mancuso. Howdy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for doing this today, sir. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule.
It is my pleasure. And just so you are aware, it is Mazzocco.
Mazzocco.
I don't know
I
how
apologize.
in one generation. Oh, no, it's quite all right. It's a hard one. But in one generation, we Americanized it. My grandfather came, on my father's side, came over on a boat to Ellis Island. And in Italy, it's pronounced Mazzocco. But his children started pronouncing it Mazzocco immediately. And I think it's hysterical that we Americanized this last name in one generation.
Wow. For someone hearing your name for the first time, who are you and what made you decide to run for District 4?
Wow. I moved here, it's going on 20 years in September, from New York City, actually. I have had the pleasure of living all over the country, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alaska, 2 places in Ohio, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Illinois, New York City, and then here. My father was in the service when I was born, hence the Oklahoma, Georgia, and Alaska. When he got out, we settled outside of Cleveland in the suburbs of Brook Park. And that's where I basically grew up from 7 on. Oh, I was, like I said, I was born in Oklahoma on Fort Sill. That's where my mother is. Her family's actually from just north of there, Anadarko, Oklahoma. I bring that up because that's where our tribe is based, Delaware Nation. So I am proud Native American and Italian. And if I win this election, I'll be the first Native to ever serve on Phoenix City Council.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
an exciting historic first.
Oh, wow. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And actually, if you see my picture on my website, I'm standing in front of one of the old buildings, Memorial Hall at Indian School Park. Indian schools, I'm sure you're familiar, were boarding schools that were the children were forcibly taken to colonize them. General Pratt, who founded the schools, his phrase was "kill the Indian, save the man."
I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, history lesson here too, folks. Wow.
So that was 1890, that school. I'm sorry, 1891, that school was opened. And so on the spot that I took those pictures are where the kids were actually dropped off and processed. And their heads were shaved and they were put in military clothing, and it was a military boarding school. And so I decided to take my pictures there because my grandmother, my aunts and uncles all went through those military boarding schools in Pennsylvania and Kansas. And so I was very proud of the fact that I was now running for public office to sit in the government that once did that to my family and did that to so many other families, Native families around the country. But I'm taking back that space, and the fact that school will be in my district is really quite exciting for me. And I am so proud that we have that history to share with people, because while it might be a dark history, it is still something that we should learn from, and so we don't replicate, and we know why and where that happened in our nation, and especially here in the city.
Yeah, this cleansing of our history is really annoying me, because we have to accept what we did. We don't have to be proud of what we did, but we have to accept what we did so that we can move forward.
Correct. And we're seeing our government do some of those things all over again with saying, oh, we're not going to teach them in any other language but English. We're not going to teach our youth in any other language but English. That's ridiculous. English wasn't the first language spoken here. We know that there were many native languages, and after the native languages, Spanish was spoken here first, and after Spanish, then English became the dominant language. But that was not the original language of this land, not even of the colonized land. So we're seeing our government replicate some of those pieces again. And I want to sit on city council, not because I have control over federal government, but actually because I don't. You had asked me earlier why I'm doing this, and it goes back to the federal government and everything that's going on right now in D.C. While I can't change any of that, I can make sure that my home stays in order, and that's Phoenix. And Phoenix needs to remain a welcoming and safe and prosperous place for us all to live. And that's how we change the world, is within our own home. We make sure that our homes are in order. Our homes are safe spaces. Our homes are with love and treating our neighbors with empathy and humanity. That's what I can do, because that's what city council does. City council is your day-to-day government. They help your life be better immediately, whether it's your trash being picked up, whether it's water is turned on, whether it's how the city is being designed and built, how transportation options are making it easier, how fast someone is going down a street. These are things that city council can do for you. So that's what I want to do. I want to make sure their home stays in order.
One of the things I hate right now, I had a conversation with someone that like, oh, I hate this administration. I'm like, everyone hates this administration. He's like, yeah, but I hate like almost all administrations. And I'm like, oh, we got to put the brakes on that. That's what this administration wants you to do, is they want you to hate, and they want you to just say, oh, they're all bad. They're all like this. That's not the case. Government can do good things. Government can help us. That government has a purpose. We the people, remember? We are the government.
Right. Exactly. We are the government. And yes, other previous administrations took a long time to do something because there's a million views and there's a million people that they are governing. And so just hashing things because, oh, I don't like that, so I'm just going to stop that because these 20% are these vocal voters that are in the minority want it to be done. That's not looking at the entire population.
Right.
And that's also not looking at the ramifications. And that's
it's minority rule. It's not democracy.
Time. Correct. That's why things take time. We have to look at all sides. There are so many facets to every issue in this country, and not paying attention to every facet or every layer of the onion is really going to get them in trouble, as we're seeing now.
Why does this specific community matter to you?
As you heard, all the places that I grew up, moving around when my father was in the service, and then after that, going to school and continuing on the move. Phoenix is the longest place that I've ever lived in my entire life, and we're going on 20 years. I have lived here since 2006. It has become my home. It is where my parents retired. That's how we all came out here. Mom and Dad built a home on the far west side, and my father's brothers and sisters all moved out here. Their kids followed. A large majority of the family is out here in Phoenix now, and it has become my home. It's where I'm going to grow old. It's where I met my husband. It's where I started my business. And so this is my home, and home is where the heart is, right? So that's why it means so much. And there is a mentality out here in Phoenix that is very much the Wild West. Anybody can do anything. Anything is possible. And while I thought that was the case in New York, there's still many hurdles in New York. And here we really can do anything. And so I have had the amazing opportunity my career has flourished out here. I have just really experienced so many new opportunities. That was all because it's Phoenix and we can do anything out here. And we are able to grow and build out here. The East Coast has already been done. That's already done all over the East Coast. But here in the West, we can make that happen.
We have fertile
I
ground.
love that. I love that. Yeah, I really love that mentality. And that's why I've stayed and that's why I continue to flourish.
Now, what experiences have actually prepared you to do this job effectively?
I have been a 25-year advocate for my community. While I came out 91, 92, Pride was still a protest then. It was still, we would all march down the street. Our friends were dying around us at that point. And it was just by coming out, you were making a statement and then putting that little rainbow sticker and wearing those freedom rings like we all did in the early 90s on our car, or wearing this freedom rings around our neck. That was all a sign of protest. And that mentality of being a community advocate and protesting never stopped, and it just grew. It was 99 when I started volunteering with GMHC in New York City, becoming part of their speaker bureau and giving talks on HIV/AIDS around the city and what it has done to us, to this community. And that slowly developed. I was turned on to GLSEN when I was living in New York, attending a fundraiser for them. And that moment that I saw there was a GSA in the school. GSA is a Gay Straight Alliance in the school that I attended. That was a dark time period for me. And now there was a safe space in that school that gave me such hope. And I need to be part of this change. I need to look forward to the future. I need to be the energy that I needed as a youth. And so when I moved out here, my friends put me in contact with Maddie Edelman and Matt Heil. They were on the GLSEN Arizona board. They were the board chair, co-chairs. And I joined that organization and eventually on the board. And that was 2007, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there, and continued working with them. And that has developed to sitting on several boards around town, whether it was Greater Phoenix Equality Chamber of Commerce. I'm still on their board for 7 years now. I was board chair for 4 years. During that time, I turned that organization from a fully volunteer organization to a fully staffed and organization with an executive director that I hired and 2 full-time staff. We doubled our membership, doubled our programming, and founded the Quality Foundation to the Gay Men's Chorus, where I got them to sing the national anthem at an NFL game, the first gay men's chorus to ever do that in NFL's 166-year history.
Oh, wow.
ACI, which is the Arizona Costume Institute, which supports the fashion collection at the Phoenix Art Museum. I had the privilege of serving on that board, Convergence Ballet, and also being appointed chair of the Human Relations Commission for the city of Phoenix by Mayor Kate Gallego back in 22. And a number of other committees and community organizations, the LGBTQ board for the police, the Children's Museum of Phoenix, their gala committee, the Phoenix Symphony Gala Committee. So I have been out there making changes in our community and sitting on boards and really doing this work that I now want to do on a very public scale for years. So when I say that I'm going to make these changes or do this work within the community, I'm not talking about work that I want to do, that I hope to do. It's work that I'm already doing. And that's why I'm running, because I just want to continue doing the work that I know is making the world a better place. I do it for the citywide.
So running for office is one thing, but governing is another. What makes you confident that you can deliver in a governing platform versus a committee?
Governing in city council is by committee. I might have all kinds of wonderful ideas, and I do, very forward thinking outside of the box, but it still takes 5 votes. Neil Giuliano, he made a great reference when I kicked off, and he spoke at my campaign kickoff last year, and he said it was him and 3 other votes that got Tempe Town Lake built. Think about that. We all give it to Neil and say that was his vision, his baby, and it was, but it was just him. It was him and 3 other council members that got that lake built. That's an interesting prospect when you think about that, right?
Right.
It is still a governing committee that runs the city. It's the mayor and 8 council people. So you need 5 votes. Whether the mayor is with you or without, you still need 5 votes to get anything done. And I feel very strongly that I can find middle of the road, get to the heart of the issue, and solve from there pragmatic approaches to the problems that this city has. Transportation issues, homelessness issues. That is the number one issue right now in this city that really we need to look at, because we are just exacerbating the problem with beds and hot meals. And we're not looking at the humanity and how to get these people off the streets and get rid of this issue that's plaguing our community. It's multifaceted, but we need everyone to come together. And that issue isn't just city council. That's a county-wide, statewide issue that we all need to be working together and not pointing fingers like what goes on right now. Like we're on two different sides of this coin. We all need to be on the same side, and that's solving this problem with compassion. But it is getting to the root of the issue and solving together as a unified body. That's how we govern collectively. That's how we make the world a better place, is by working that ability to work together. And when people have non-negotiables, then you're not here to get the job done. You're here to grandstand, and we don't have any time for that.
Do we have a lot of that happening right now, grandstanding?
I don't see that. There's some people that on city council that don't want to work on the issues. They're looking at party lines, and they're really trying to tote their quote unquote party values, and that doesn't help anybody. This position of city council is a nonpartisan race. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud that I can talk to both sides of the aisle, because when it gets down to it, like I said earlier, we're talking about zoning, we're talking about sewers, we're talking about transportation and water. I think we can all agree what's good for us and our neighbors when it comes to that. And toting a party line is not going to help anyone. This isn't a Republican or Democrat thing. This is a District 4 thing. This is a Phoenix thing. What is best for our city has nothing to do with what's best for your party.
So how do you balance meaningful support for the LGBTQ plus community plus whoever else is in District 4?
When it gets down to it, District 4 seat on city council belongs to this district. It doesn't belong to any one person. And I am applying for this job. I'm applying to represent the constituents of District 4. I'm also applying to represent the citizens of Phoenix. So if I am picked to sit in this seat, and I hope I am, they get my whole body. And part of the definition of who I am is a Native American man that's been othered his entire life. It is an LGBTQ man that has been othered his entire life. It is the second generation of an immigrant that understands the hard work that was used to build this country on the backs of immigrants and slave labor. All of that, being the son of a union official, UAW Local 1005, my father was financial secretary, my mother was a Montessori director. All of these things define who I am, my experiences, and my what I'm bringing to the table. None of that will change. I will always be that blue-collar kid. And I grew up in Brook Park. I will always be Michael Mazzocco, that was called faggot and gay by teachers, administrators, and students. And I'm not saying that as a poor me. I'm saying that is part of who I am. That's why I am who I am, because I know what it means to be othered, and I know what it takes to pick yourself up, dust off, and keep fighting and keep moving forward. My viewpoint of being a gay man will never change. But in the grand scheme of things, I am still a citizen of this city. I am still looking at my neighbors on both sides of my house and across the street. I'm not just tunnel vision for the LGBTQ community or the Native community or the immigrant community. I am still Michael that can see all of my neighbors on all sides of the street and throughout the entire city. District 4 is so incredibly diverse, with 63% Hispanic, actually, because it goes all the way to 61st Avenue. But we also have some incredibly wealthy areas of this district between 7th Street and 19th Avenue, and 15th Avenue, and going up to Glendale. That's actually between the sevens, but there's $1 million homes, and there's homes that are $300,000, $200,000 homes. And so I have to be able to talk to all sides, to be able to understand and see all sides. And I definitely must represent all sides. But when it gets down to it, those sides are humans, and human rights are basic, non-negotiable for everyone.
So representing that such a diverse district, how do you handle disagreement, especially when your constituents don't all want the same thing?
That is the joy of politics. That is the joy of community. That is the joy of legislation. A friend of mine, Michael Soto with Equality Arizona, he does amazing work. He and Angela and ACLU and HRC, they all do amazing work. But it is Michael that told me, when we're all unhappy with the legislation, that's when we know it's good legislation. Meaning,
yes, if no one's happy, that means it's done right.
Then we have something good going on.
Yeah.
We all have to give a little.
I think that was something in Lower Decks as well. That was one of the plot lines. Everyone's unhappy. Yes, we did our job.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, when we look at historic legislation that's passed within the LGBTQ community, we've applauded. I remember in the Pride Parade after Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I wore a green beret. It was my uncle's green beret because we were so excited about Don't Ask, Don't Tell, because that was a step forward, a pragmatic approach. Now, in hindsight, that was horrible legislation.
Right, exactly. But it was something. It was movement of the needle where it felt like we had been stagnant for so long. It's so hard to explain that to somebody because they're like, oh, that was so horrible. Yes, it was. It really was. But it was still, it was like same thing where I believe it was Obama or maybe, it was Obama that didn't quite accept gay marriage. And then Biden like kind of bitch slapped him privately. And then he's like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. Because it takes that to move the needle forward.
Yes, absolutely. It takes personal relationships. And it was Biden actually talking about his social secretary and his husband that they got to be good friends with. And that really changed his viewpoint on gay marriage. So it's having those personal relationships that will help change people's minds. But when it comes down to legislation, that one side isn't happy, the other side's not happy, we still have to understand that we live in a community and all sides of this community have to be happy. And if this is going to give somebody access and not somebody else, that's not okay with me. That's never going to be okay. But if we're talking about making sure that people remove their garbage out of their front yard and everyone is held to the same rules and regulations, then same standards. Thank you. Then it's hard to say that this is against one person and not another.
What does transparency look like once you're in office?
Wow. Isn't that such a term that, every politician uses and then they're
never follow through.
People that, they either don't follow through or they think they're being fully transparent like our current administration in the White House. And boy, that does not feel transparent at all to us. But because he's out front talking to people, they're saying that he's being transparent. For me, transparency is listening, is roundtables, is not just a coffee, but actual people that are going to be affected by the legislation, listening to them, acting on their needs, desires, and viewpoints, and then coming back and being accountable for why we couldn't do everything that they asked for, or why we voted a certain way, or why we signed off on this but not that. It's not just listening, but it's having accountability. That to me is transparency. Just being out there listening and updating people at a coffee, that's one step, but actually acting on it and being accountable for it, to me, that's full transparency. And that's what I want to do with my time in this office. If I am so lucky to win, it's not just listening to our LGBTQ community, but our youth community, our immigrant community, our historic neighborhoods, our students and young families. It's listening to all sides and all parts, and our small business community that is constantly trampled over by larger businesses because they're bringing the big flashy dollars to the city. But yet those small businesses are the backbone of the employers of this city. And so it's listening to everyone and being held accountable to them. That's
What?
how I want to be transparent.
Why should someone choose you over your opponents?
Because I'm fabulous. No,
I love that answer. That's the best answer. That seriously is, because I feel like that's an honest answer. I feel like that was like your gut reaction, and I love that. That makes you feel more human to me versus the polished politician response. Bravo. I will accept that as an answer right there. But if you want to expand, the floor is yours.
You know what? I think that this race is so fortunate to have 6 other great candidates. Now, I might not agree with their politics. I might not agree with every single one of their viewpoints, but I can say that all 6 people I would sit down and have dinner with. And it's hard for me to find somebody that I wouldn't have dinner with, but I would sit down and break bread with and listen to and be able to find ground that we would all agree on. Now, why should the voters of District 4 vote for me over the other 6 is that I'm bringing to the table an institutional knowledge of how to get this work done because I've been doing it for 25 years. And not just because I marched down the street or protested in D.C., marched on Washington, but also because of that, and also because I have brought legislation forward to City Council, also because I have been building these boards and organizations that are now flourishing, also because I have past experiences that I can relate to with being othered and being also promoted. And I feel like I am the most well-rounded individual out there that mirrors the majority of this district that are blue-collar renters, as I am a blue-collar small business owner that's still a renter. And not still, I'm proud that I'm a renter. We don't have to own property in the 5th largest city, just like we wouldn't own property in New York City. You can be a renter all your life, and that's okay.
I feel
so I want
that's
people
been
to see
looked down
themselves.
upon, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need to be. It does not need to be.
As a homeowner, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much to deal with.
Yes, we would. My husband and I would love to be a homeowner, but right now it's just not in the cards. And having a small business and starting that small business, boy, oh boy, man, that is not a merry-go-round. That is a roller coaster with a lot of loop, and especially getting through COVID. Yes. You're chugging up, you're going up, things are great, and then you're going back down, and then you're upside down, and then you have to pivot real quick, and there's the right turn, there's the left turn. It is insane.
And now you have this administration.
23 was an amazing year. 24 was a very difficult year. 25, okay, things are moving along, but now let's mix it up a little bit and run for office.
Well, 26 is how do we survive? And I feel like getting people like you in office, especially after having this conversation, is how we're going to do that because we need that. So let's say you do get in there. 2 years into your term,
Yep.
What does success look like for District 4?
That is a great question. I would say I have moved forward on my 5-point plan for homelessness, that we have a mayoral level position that's in City Hall, working with our county and state on housing first with programs that surround our homelessness, and we're getting people off the streets. I would say that it is advancing our transportation forward, our transportation options, and we have light rail that will hopefully be getting built that's going to go to all 4 corners of this city. And whether it's actually being built or we're just moving that needle forward would be at the top of my list. And that we have upzoning and more building along our transportation routes. We can get affordable housing actually built in the downtown and midtown areas where it is more of a walkable pedestrian lifestyle, because we're building 600 unit apartment buildings without the infrastructure to support them. Look at the corner of Central and Indian School. We have that great apartment complex right there, and you still have to travel half a mile to get your groceries. Why we don't have any bodegas required when these people are building these complexes, these communities, it boggles my mind. Looking at the zoning of these communities that we're building and how we can make sure that they are building communities. We're not just building housing.
Right. That's funny because that's one of the things that me and my husband, that's our biggest complaint. We see these mega structure cities with no infrastructure for food, restaurants, or anything, just housing and parking. And okay, where are they supposed to go eat? Where are they supposed to go get their groceries? Where are they supposed to do anything?
Everyone, when I talk about bodega culture, they're like, that's not a zoning term. That's not an architectural term. You're right. That's a community term.
Right.
And bodegas make our cities, our streets safer because it is where our neighbors went and picked up that sandwich, milk, sugar, toilet paper, whatever the case may be. I just said toilet paper. Oh my gosh.
COVID on the
where
brain.
You go. It's where you go, that and you see all your neighbors and you recognize your neighbors, and it's your safe space, and it's where you're building community, basically. And you have them in large cities, but we have not gotten the hang of that yet because there's still very much a car culture, and we still want to drive everywhere to get everything done. And so if there was a bodega in these neighborhoods that they could go to and pick up your groceries and grab that sandwich late at night when you're coming home, it would, I think, help build community.
I would love to live a carless life. I'm just saying.
Same here. And that doesn't mean a bike, because that's an ableist viewpoint of the city. Biking is great, don't get me wrong, but we can't expect everyone to bike everywhere or micro mobility options. We have to look at all sides and all aspects and parts of our community. And that is also our older community. That's our disenfranchised community. That's our disabled community. There are so many aspects of what make up Phoenix. It is not just rich, wealthy, young white folks. It is a beautiful fabric of all different types of people. And
a tapestry.
I see them. Yeah, absolutely. I see them. I welcome to my table, and I want to represent everyone.
So when someone walks into the voting booth, what's one thing that you want them to remember about you?
The last name is spelled Mazzocco.
I love it. And where can listeners learn more about you and your campaign?
So my website, mazzoccoforphoenix.com. Again, that's M-A-Z-Z as in zebra, O-C-C as in Charlie, O, for Phoenix, all spelled out. There's a new website that will be debuting at the end of this week. That will have a expanded platform and bios and pictures and just opportunities to get involved with the campaign as this movement really grows. Like I said, there are a number of people that are running, but my campaign, I feel, is a movement. It is a movement for those of us that have been other, that are considered them and they, and to me, we're just us. And so I want all of us to be represented here in District 4, and that's why I want us all to be involved in this campaign.
Michael Mazzocco, thank you so very much for taking the time to do this with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It has been my pleasure. I love talking to my community and spreading the good word. Let's all do this. Let's shine brighter together.
Another reason we love this community.
I'm Daddy Dave, your friend in the fight to end stigma, and I'm the founder of Team Friendly, here today to talk about partner notification. If you've ever tested positive for an STI, informing past sexual partners can be a challenge, but it is an act of care. A friendly conversation can remind others the importance of testing, treating, and staying healthy. It's not about blame or shame. It's about respect, honesty, and quality health care for one another and owning up to the intimacy that we share. So if a past sexual partner informs you about such matters, that you might have been exposed to an STI, be cool about it. Say, thanks for letting me know, I'm on it, and be grateful that testing, and if need be treatment, is available for us all. Being friendly means let's look out for each other's health.
Pride lives here.
That's it. That's the conversation. And honestly, that's the kind of voice, the kind of perspective that we need more of right now. Huge thank you to Michael Mazzocco for coming in, showing up, and having a real conversation about what it actually means to serve this city and the people in it. Because at the end of the day, it isn't about politics, it's about people. It's about the same thing that we saw this weekend. Those smiles when someone picked up their custom tag and saw their name staring back at them. That moment of, this is me. That feeling of being seen, That's community. That's why we do this. And that's what we're building here. Now listen, GayPHX isn't just a podcast. It's not just a stream. It's a platform for stories, for music, for voices that deserve to be heard right now, right here in our own backyard. And that includes you. If you've got something to say, a story to tell, music to share, a business, an event, a cause, reach out. Come be a part of what we're building. Because this only works when the community is the content. We've already got incredible voices stepping up and helping shape this. Lookout News, bringing headlines that matter. The Tax Person, breaking things down so you actually understand your money. Team Friendly, showing up with insight, knowledge, and heart. And we're just getting started. There's room at the table, so pull up a chair. GayPHX is streaming 24/7 with music, interviews, updates, and real voices from across the valley and beyond. Your daily dose of queerness is always right there when you need it. No gatekeepers, no filters, just community. So keep listening, keep sharing, and keep showing up for each other, because that's how we build something that actually lasts. And hey, if you see us out and about, come grab a selfie with us. We love you, Phoenix.
We're together, the sun is bright, and there's nowhere better than by your side. We're together, the sun is bright, and there's nowhere better than by your side.
Thanks for hanging out with the GayPHX Podcast. Be kind. Be bold. Be you.